Hello everyone, this is part 6 of What If Naruto Left Konoha to Save His Life, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, to share, and check out the playlist, to see more comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Join my membership, the perks are great. It's in the description. Be sure to like and subscribe, it gives me more motivation. Enjoy. Reiji Haruno's was looking at all strange sights around him. He was standing between his sister and Mr. Namikaze as they walked down the street. All around him were people walking on different walkways above them. However, instead of a blue sky above, there was only a grey stone roof with huge lights on the ceiling. All the streets and buildings were made from stone. Off in the distance he could see sunlight. Mr. Namikaze looked down at him. "Come on Reiji, I have something to show you," said Naruto as they made their way through the streets until they entered the sunlight side of the village. Reiji looked up to see the top of a snow-covered mountain. "Wow," said Reiji. "That isn't the cool part," said Naruto with a smile as they walked down the street some more until they reached a railing. Reiji's eyes widened as he looked down to see that they were suspended on top of an outcropping. "We are over a mile above the valley floor." "Cool," said Reiji as he watched some birds fly by. "That is what I said the first time I came here," said Naruto as he rubbed the little boy's head, causing him to laugh. "He would make a great father," thought Sakura with a smile before she remembered. "He is already a father." "Mr. Namikaze," said Reiji. "Yeah, can I send a message to mom and dad?" asked Reiji as Naruto smiled. "Of course, but let's wait till we get to the ice village. That way your parents will know you got there safely," said Naruto as Reiji nodded his head. "Okay," said Reiji. "Mr. Namikaze, will I go to ninja school?" "If that is what you want, then yes," said Naruto. "It is, I want to be a strong ninja," said Reiji, "but I have never been to ninja school. What if the other kids don't like me?" "Don't worry about that, you'll have 2 friends right away in my kids," said Naruto as Reiji smiled. "Are we going to live together?" asked Reiji as Naruto looked at Sakura. "It's up to your big sister. I have plenty of room at my house for you too," said Naruto. Live with Naruto-kun, thought Sakura before she smiled. Sure. 2 hours later, Naruto and the others were back on the train heading out of the station. "Only 4 hours until we are in the ice village," said Naruto. For a while they just talked about what all has happened over the years. "Naruto, are you worried about the Akatsuki coming after you?" "No," asked Shikamaru. "They will find out that you're back. They may want the QB." "Don't worry about that," said Naruto. "The QB isn't in me anymore, and with pain they can't summon the extractor anyway. So they have no reason to go up against the guy who killed their leader." "He has a point," said Temari. "However, they may have replaced their members and they wouldn't know that you don't have the QB in you anymore," said Shikamaru as Naruto shrugged his shoulders. "Whatever it is, said Naruto. Danzo sat behind his desk looking over some paperwork before heading to the council meeting. Suddenly Shika walked through holding a letter. "Shika, Nara, what can I do for the Nara clan today?" "It's my son, I just got a message from him," said Shika. "He has defected to the ice village." Danzo leaned back in his chair. "I see, so the demon child has taken another of our ninjas." "No, it was Temari of the sand village," said Shika as he placed his hands on Danzo's desk. "They eloped, didn't they?" asked Danzo as Shika nodded his head. "Hinata, get in here," he yelled as Hinata walked into the room. "Yes, sir. Add Shikamaru, Nara and Temari of the sand to the list of S-ranked missing ninjas," said Danzo as Hinata nodded as Shika looked at Danzo. "Lord Hokage, please, he is my son, just bring him back," asked Shika. "Sorry Shika, but he is a defector and has married a ninja from another village that only is already AK on site order," said Danzo as Shika lowered his head. Slowly Danzo stood up. "Sorry Shika, but my hands are bound by the law. I hope this doesn't change your clan's council vote." "No, Lord Hokage, it doesn't. If I can go to the ice village and talk some sense into my son. If I can get him to leave Temari and come home, I want him to live," said Shika. "Fine. Sasuke plans to head to ice on a tour of the nations after our war with Cloud. You may join him," said Danzo as Shika walked out of the room. "Sometimes I hate these stupid clans. thought Danzo as he threw on the Hokage's robes. If I didn't need them to pass the laws I need and to allow my ninjas to go to war, one would remove them. Danzo walked out of his office and down a flight of stairs and entered the large circle room. In front of him stood a half-circle table with 9 chairs, one for each of the council-level clans. All the council members were standing talking, only Kane Haruno sitting in the Namikaze spot. The other members refused to even look at him. Soon Hiyashi Hyuga, the head of the council, stepped forward to the small podium that stood at the center of the table. "Let this council meeting come to order," said Hiyashi as the other council members sat down at their clan seats. "We are here to listen to our Lord Hokage and his proposition. Now Lord Hokage, the floor is yours." With that, Hiyashi sat down at his clan's council chair. "Thank you, Hiyashi and other council members. Now our village is the strongest of any nation on this side of the world. However, there is one nation that stands in the way of us having total control. I request a declaration of war against the Cloud Village. Do we have a plan to defeat the Cloud?" asked Inoki Yamanaka. "Yes, we do," said Sasuke Uchiha. "We will hit them while their army is away on a training session. We will have total control of the village by the time they return." "I see," said Naruto. "They will not want to risk us killing their family, so they will not attack. How are we going to keep them in line in a long run?" asked Shika Nara. "Place a new Raikage in charge with some of our ninjas there as a controlling force," said Danzo. "So we will have to leave some ninjas there?" asked Shiba Aburame. "Yes. Will that hurt the defense of the village?" asked Choza Akamaki. "No. We have plenty of Anbu, and with the mass immigration of people from Wave, Wind and Earth country, we can flood the Cloud Village with lower clan and no clan ninjas," said Danzo. "So we don't have worry about deaths," said Hiyashi Hyuga. "I can't believe you guys are talking about sending people to their death without a care," asked Kane Haruno as the other council members looked at him. "I think you should learn to shut up," said Hiyashi. "If it wasn't for the fact that you traded your daughter for this spot, then the Naruto Namikaze wouldn't have placed you here." "I didn't trade my daughter for anything. She wanted to go with him, and that doesn't change the fact that we are talking about people's lives," said Kane. "We are talking about lives that do not matter toward the power of the village," said Hiyashi. "Now I call for a vote for war." Aburame. "We vote yes," said Shiba Aburame. "One vote yes." Akamaki. "Yes," said Choza Akamaki. Hatake. "Yeah," said now Hatake. "All right, 3 votes for war," said Hiyashi Hyuga, "and my clan votes yes as well. Now Inuzuka clan, how do you vote?" "I don't feel that war is needed at this time, and I have a kid on the way. I want to be around to see him or her grow, so I vote no," said Kiba as the other members looked at him. "Okay then, we have 4 votes for and 1 against," said Hiyashi. "How does the stand-in for the Namikaze clan vote?" "No," said Kane. "All right then, Nara clan, how do you vote?" asked Hiyashi. "Although I hate the idea of war, war is needed to make the village stronger," said Shika, "so yes, we vote for war." Danzo could only smile. "I have 5 votes, I have my war. Although the motion is carried, we will run down the rest of the votes," said Hiyashi. "I vote yes," said Sasuke. "Same here," said Inoki. "All right, in a vote of 7-2 we will go to war with the Cloud Village," said Hiyashi. Darkness had fallen as a train was travel out of the mountains and over a large bridge over an even large lake. "Welcome to the land of ice," said Naruto as the train went on to land again. "So this is Ice County?" asked Sakura with her brother asleep on her lap as she looked out the ice-covered mountains that shimmered in the moonlight. "Yeah, we should be in the village around 4 morning," said Naruto as Sakura laid her head on his shoulder. "Wake me up when we get there," yawned Sakura as she closed her eyes. Naruto could only smile as he looked at the sleeping woman beside him. "Looks good, doesn't it, Naruto?" whispered Shikamaru as he looked at Temari, who like Sakura was using her man's shoulder as her pillow. "Yeah," said Naruto as he placed his head on top of Sakura's. A few hours later the train came to a stop, waking up the 5 people in the train car. "Looks like we are here." Sakura looked out the window to see a station, a large outer wall about the same size as the wall at Leaf Village. As 2 Anbu stepped on aboard the train. "Sorry, but they don't let the train go right into the village, without a checkpoint." Suddenly the door opened and the 2 Ice Anbu entered the car. The 2 of them looked around until their eyes fell on Naruto. When they saw him they stopped looking at the others and snapped to attention. At ease, ordered Naruto as the Anbu went back to normal. It's good to have you back, sir, said the Anbu. It's good to be back, said Naruto. Will you do me a favor? Of course, sir, said the Anbu. Tell the Isukage that I have 3 ninjas, 2 from the Leaf and 1 from Suna who wish to join our village and a young kid who needs to be enrolled in school, said Naruto. He already knows, sir, said a third Anbu as he walked in. He wants you and the other people to be in his office at 9:30. He wants to see them for himself. Okay then, said Naruto as the Anbu left and the train started moving again. They went through a small tunnel but soon it changed to homes and apartment buildings. Welcome to the Ice Village. Sakura walked through the dark street carrying her sleeping brother in her arm. Not much longer, said Naruto as they made a turn down a street only to see a long line of large houses. This is where the upper clans live. So there are higher clans here as well, groaned Shikamaru. There are upper clans wherever you go, said Naruto. However, in the Leaf, once you're a council level clan, you can't be removed here. If a smaller clan rises to power, they can be added to the council, and if a council clan loses power, it can be removed from the council. They add my clan last year. So there is a chance for even the lowest clan has a chance to become council members, asked Temari. Yarn 1/4 of the spots on the council is elected from the general population, said Naruto. That way the clans can't get too powerful. Good, said Sakura as Naruto started up a small stone path toward one of the large houses on the street. Naruto stopped at the front door and pulled out a key from his protect and opened the door. Welcome to my home, said Naruto as he turned on the light, showing a long hallway with stairs on one side. A woman maybe 18 years old walked down dressed in sweatpants and a t-shirt. Mr. Namikaze, though you wouldn't be home for a few more hours, said the woman. Train got in early, Sue. How did the kids do while I was gone? Asked Naruto. Quite well, sir. Saito cut himself while throwing a kunai, said Sue as Naruto rolled his eyes. He is too young to be using real kunias, said Naruto. Well, sir, I am sorry, he took it from my holster, said Sue. It's not your fault, Sue. Go back to bed, said Naruto. No, sir, I'll head home. I miss sleeping in my own bed, said Sue as she headed back upstairs. Babysitter, said Naruto as the others nodded. Come on, I'll show you to the Shaper rooms. They followed Naruto down the hall past the stairs. That is when they noticed that behind the stairs was a set of stairs heading downstairs. Naruto turned and led them down into a lower finished basement. Down there was a small sitting room with 2 couches and a small bar stood in the corner. They followed him through the sitting room and down another hallway. Naruto opened one of the doors, showing a pretty good-sized room with a single double bed with 2 nightstands and a dresser in them. Shikamaru Temari, said Naruto. Sorry, it isn't much. It is better than what we are used to, said Temari. Naruto nodded as he opened the door across the hall from them, showing a similar room to the one Temari and Shikamaru had. Naruto then opened one last door to show a smaller room with a single bed. Bathroom is at the end of the hall, said Naruto. Sakura brushed past Naruto and placed Reiji on the single bed and pulled the covers over him. Shikamaru and Temari walked into their room and closed the door. After Sakura had placed her brother in bed, she turned and looked at Naruto. Thanks for everything, Naruto-kun, said Sakura. Don't worry about it, Sakura-chan, said Naruto as Sakura smiled and kissed him. However, just as they closed their eyes, a sound broke them apart. They turned to look down the hallway to see Sue standing there fully dressed in a chunin jacket and an ice headband tied around her arm. Sorry, sir, but I should tell you that I am leaving, said Sue with a grin. Good, I will make sure you're paid for this mission tomorrow, said Naruto as Sue turned and left. When she had disappeared up the stairs, Naruto and Sakura turned back toward each other. Night, Naruto-kun, said Sakura as she kissed Naruto's cheek before heading toward her bedroom. Naruto just stood there for a moment before heading upstairs himself, turning the lights off as he goes. He walked up the stairs, locking the front door before heading toward his own bedroom. However, before he did, he made a stop at his kids' bedrooms only to see them both sleeping. Naruto then walked into his own bedroom and set his alarm for 7:30, only 2 hours away before he fell asleep. Way too soon, Naruto opened his eyes to see his cloak glaring at him. Slowly Naruto sat up and went through his normal morning, shower, get dressed and head downstairs to make breakfast for the kids. However today he more food than normal to prepare. Naruto walked downstairs a little after 8 only to find Sakura standing in his kitchen with a glass of orange juice in her hands and a bowl of mix next to the stove. He could make out a pancake in a sket. Morning Naruto. Morning Sakura, you didn't have to make breakfast, said Naruto. Well, it's the least I can do, I just hope your kids like pancakes, said Sakura. Don't worry about it Sakura-chan, said Naruto as the sound of footsteps came down the stairs as suddenly a blonde-haired boy wearing a red t-shirt and blue shorts came running through the door. He stopped and looked at Sakura with blue eyes. It's okay Saito, this is Sakura Haruno, said Naruto. Your teammate from back in the leaf right? Asked Saito. Yeah, said Naruto, her little brother and 2 other people came from their home, they are going to stay here for a while. Okay, said Saito as Sakura noticed that Saito had his right palm covered up with wrapping. Is that where you cut yourself? Asked Sakura as Saito sat down at one of the chairs. Yeah, said Saito as Sakura sat down next to Saito. Can I see? Asked Sakura. Sure, said Saito as he removed the bandage to show a small cut. Sakura channeled chakra into her hand making it glow green. Before focusing all of it into her pointing finger. Don't worry I am a doctor, said Sakura as she ran her finger over the cut healing it as it went. Cool, said Saito as Sakura finished. Yes, it is, said a new voice as Sakura looked up to see a girl with long black hair pulled back into a ponytail. I've seen her before but I know I haven't, thought Sakura. I am Katara, Miss Haruno, said Katara with a smile. Thank you, I hope you two like pancakes, said Sakura as she went back to the cooking. It's my brother's favorite. I didn't know you had a brother, Miss Haruno, said Katara. He was born after your father left my village, said Sakura, in fact he is right there. Katara and Saito turned to see Reiji standing there in a black shirt and pants. Hi, said Reiji. Hello, said Saito as he turned back around. Well, are you going stand there or have something to eat? Reiji walked up and started eating some pancakes and talking to the other kids. Soon Shikamaru and Temari appeared. Around 8:45 Naruto looked at Katara and Saito. You two better go get your things, we don't want to be late, said Naruto as the kids grounded before heading out the door. You guys will have to wait here while I take them to school. What about me, Mr. Namikaze? Asked Reiji, am I going to school? Not today, said Naruto, I have to take you all before the cage. Is he going to interrogate us? Asked Reiji as Naruto shook his head. No, he is going to ask you some simple questions. You're too young to be a ninja. Most of the questions will be directed at your sister and Mr. and Mrs. Nara, said Naruto. Dad, yelled Katara. Coming, said Naruto, I'll be back soon. When Naruto left, Temari turned and looked at everyone. I suggest that we all get ready to leave, we don't want to be late to meet their cage, said Temari as everyone nodded before heading downstairs. It didn't take long for Naruto to return and soon they were off toward a large castle-like building in the center of town. As they approached, Naruto spoke up. This is the oldest building in the village. It was once the fortresses that controlled the river crossings. Now it is the head of the government. Their eyes widened as they crossed over a small moat. They walked down a large stone hallway with high ceilings. In small outcovers stood tall limestone statues. The 7 Isukage, said Naruto as Sakura looked at the 5 men and 2 women standing in different poses in stone. We better get going, said Shikamaru as he looked at his watch. Naruto led him up to a hidden elevator and soon they were sitting outside of the cage's office with Naruto. Suddenly a woman with short black hair walked out of the oak doors. Mr. Namikaze, Lord Isukage is ready for you, said the woman as she walked out. Naruto and the others stood up and entered the office. Sakura looked around the circular room with one side covered with a huge bookcase and on the other was a line of photos of what she guessed were the other cages. In front of a stained glass window sat a man behind an old solid oak desk. He was old, about Danzo's age, except unlike Danzo, this man didn't have his face hidden behind bandages. This man looked up with green eyes behind a set of reading glasses. He had short brown hair but the gray was easily visible, even his beard had gray hairs. Slowly he placed down a file onto the desk before looking back to the ninjas. I am Des the 7th Isukage. Naruto, would you wait outside? Said Des as Naruto bowed his head before heading back out the door. I have read the reports about you four and I have some questions for you. We have nothing to hide, said Sakura as Des looked at Sakura. Sakura Haruno, I believe, said Des as Sakura nodded. Alright, my first question is for you. Why would you want to leave your village and this Sasuke Uchiha? Sasuke Uchiha is a snake of a man. He and Danzo are reasonable for Naruto-kun being driven out of the village and the death of my master Lady Tsunade, said Sakura. Also, he imprisoned me many times because I spoke my mind. I see, so you hate this Sasuke Uchiha and Danzo. Is there anyone back there important to any of you? Asked Des as he looked at all the ninjas. Mine and my brother's parents are back there. Naruto-kun put them in charge of his family's trading company and gave them the council vote. Other than that, no, said Sakura. My parents are there as well, but if anything would happen to them, I don't think I'll care, said Shikamaru. Not caring about your parents is cold, Shikamaru Nara, said Des as he turned his gaze to the Nara. Yes, but they are one of Danzo's biggest supports that cost many people their lives. Also, they arranged me to marry a woman I don't love. I left to be with the woman I love, said Shikamaru as he looked at Temari. Back home we would be ked just because we are together. I see. Love is one of the biggest reasons to leave, said Des. And what about you, Temari? One of my brothers is the Kazekage and the other is head Anbu for the Sand Village, said Temari. They helped us leave in order for me and my husband to be together. If you were called to fight against them, would you? Asked Des as he looked at Temari. Looked at the floor. Honestly, sir, I don't think I could, said Temari as Des nodded his head. I see. I wouldn't respect you if you would fight your family for no reason, said Des as he looked at Reiji. Hello there, son, how are you doing? He asked with a smile. Fine, sir. I miss my parents, but Mr. Namikaze says that my parents are trying to change my home to make it safe for everyone to return, said Reiji as Des nodded his head. I see, said Des. Do you want to be a ninja? Yes, sir, but I also want to see my parents once the village is safe again, said Reiji. Honesty is another thing I respect, said Des. Why don't you go out? Mr. Namikaze is waiting for you outside. Tell him to file the paperwork for your school. Thank you, said Reiji with a smile as he walked out. Nice kid, said Des before turning back to look at ninjas. Now for you three, I wasn't sure about you all. I believed that Naruto was just recalling the good parts of you. From the report from the mind scan I can see he wasn't lying. I also know that you three are scared ninjas. Shikamaru and Temari, you two are scared military planner, and Sakura is a scared medical ninja. Now if you want I can give you temporary Jonin status until you can prove yourself in front of the council, and Sakura, you will have to pass a medical test before you can enter the hospital. We understand, said Sakura as Temari and Shikamaru nodded their heads. Des reached into his desk and pulled out 3 headbands with the W symbols of the Ice Village. Very well, welcome to the Ice Village Ninja Corps, said Des as the 3 ninjas took the headbands. That will be all for this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment down below for more videos. Goodbye.